Hello, boys and girls. Let's do today's math lesson. We're on 12-9, and that's on page 541. It has a snake on the front of it. And for this lesson, you are going to need either a string, a thread, or a ribbon of some sort. Okay, so if you want to pause the video right now and go get that, you can. And then we will look at the first question on the front page of the lesson. Okay. Zeke measures the snake and says it is about 4 inches long. Jay says it is about 5 inches long. Who measures the snake more precisely? Measure and explain. So precisely means exactly. Who got closer to the exact answer? Okay? So if you're going to measure this, see how that snake is wavy. So you can't use just a ruler to do that. So what you do is you lay your string or thread or ribbon down over the snake, okay? And then you either hold the end of it if it's the only piece you have, or you can cut the end of it and then straighten it out and measure it with your ruler, okay? And that will tell you how long that snake is. And then you can answer, you put in the length, and then you say who was closer to the precise answer, Zeke or Jay. All right, Zeke said 4, Jay says 5, and then explain down below how you know that that's true. All right, pause while you're completing that, and then we will look at the inside of the lesson. Okay, I'm on top now. Anna uses string to help measure the worm. Is her work precise? Why or why not? What can I do to measure precisely? I can choose units and tools that will help me measure precisely. Okay, so here are the steps in measuring precisely. We see them in the yellow box with the red outline. Estimate first. Okay, so make a plan in your head. How long do you think that is? Choose a tool. Start at 0, measure twice, and then write the unit. All right, so if you measure twice, you'll know if you didn't get the same answer both times that you're going to need to measure a third time, right? That's how you make sure it's precise, that it's absolutely correct. And the reason that it's important to make an estimate first is because after you've done a fair amount of measuring, like you have, you can look at something and say, that's about 4 inches. So if you got an answer of 12 inches, you could reason to yourself, that's not right. I didn't measure that correctly. I need to do that again. Okay, so let's look at the third box up top. Anna lines up the string along a ruler to measure the length. This is after she lined up the string on the worm, right? Then Anna measures the worm again to check her work. Then she writes the length. The worm is about 3 inches long. Anna uses precision to measure and write the units. All right, now let's look at convince me, the box right here. How does using string help Anna use precision to measure the worm? All right, so why is the string an important step if you're measuring something that's wiggly or wavy? All right, pause while you're filling that in. Number 1 in the guided practice, Bev measures the crayon and says it is 5 centimeters long. Is her work precise? Explain. All right, how do you know that she's being precise? Now, you have to look at that very carefully because our first step there says, or our third step, I should say, if you estimate first, then choose a tool, then start at 0. Did she do that? You check and see. Okay, pause while you're finishing that. We're going to look at independent practice as the pencil up top. Okay, Steve uses centimeter cubes. He says the pencil is 9 centimeters long. Is his work precise? All right, you explain why you think or don't think that pencil is 9 centimeters long. If each one of those cubes is a centimeter, what do you think? Okay. Now, number 3, use a centimeter ruler to measure the pencil yourself. Remember, you're going to make an estimate first, right? Start at 0, and then after you start at 0, you measure twice, okay? Explain what you did to make sure your work is precise. You can explain those steps that we just talked about. All right, pause while you're finishing that. Number 4, find the difference in the lengths of the paths in inches. Is your answer precise? Explain. All right, so you remember how to do this from yesterday. You find the lengths of both paths, and then you subtract to find the difference. All right, and then you have to explain how you know that it was precise, and I hope that you've used the steps that we've talked about so far today. So pause while you're finishing that. Okay, now, on the problem-solving part on the back, all of these questions are about that, measuring that string. Okay, so you'll need to use your ribbon or thread, whatever it is that you're using for this question. Okay, shoestring. Katie lost a shoestring. The shoestring has the same length as the shoestring at the right. What is the length of the shoestring Katie lost? Okay, so here we go. We're going to go through and measure this. Estimate the length of the shoestring in the picture. Explain how your estimate helps you measure. All right, so first you make an educated guess. What do you think that that's going to be? And then explain how that helps. Remember, we talked about making an estimate helps because it makes you check if your answer is reasonable. Does your answer make sense? Okay, so pause while you're filling that in. Number 6, use tools. What tools can you use to measure the shoestring? Explain. So tell me the 2 tools that you're going to use, okay? And tell me how you use them together. All right? After you've paused and finished that one up, we'll look at number 7. Then finally, you're going to measure the shoestring and tell why your work is precise. You should have followed the steps, right? You already made an estimate, you decided the tools, so then you need to start at 0 and measure twice. Okay, that helps you explain how you know you were precise. All right, guys, that's your math lesson for today. Have a great day.